Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Brock the Collector here, coming back to you with another video. Today, we're going to be going over the Atuma Black Panther Wakanda Forever Build-A-Figure wave. This is the second wave we're talking about this week, and that doesn't often happen with Marvel Legends. We usually only have one wave, and then we don't really have another one for a few months. But, this time, I'm talking about two in 1 week, so here we go. First of all, let me just get Hawkeye out of the way. I noticed that he's bothering you guys, and also I'm trying to mini flex right here with my Infinity Ultron wave. I'm kidding. I know that this wave is actually coming out. It's pretty cool. But here, let's talk about the Wakanda Forever figures today. And we're going to start off, just no introduction really needed. This was actually a 6-figure wave, and we haven't seen one of those in a little minute, as somebody has told me. But most of the Black Panther waves actually, historically, Black Panther waves have always actually been 6-figure waves, or at least 6 figures in 6 individual figures in the assortment. This time we're going to be going over the Tuma wave, and this is also a 6-figure wave. So in here we got 4 movie figures. We have Namor from Wakanda Forever, Nakia from Wakanda Forever, and Okoye from Wakanda Forever. And then we got Everett Ross as well, a Legacy Collection inclusion from the first Black Panther movie, but really you could also pass him as a Black Panther 2 Everett Ross, because I mean, I'm pretty sure that his outfit probably doesn't really change that much. And then you also got a nice comic Black Panther on the Vulcan pinless body mold, as well as Hatut Sarazi, an army builder. So, but here we're going to be talking about the movie figures today. So we got 5 figures to talk about. Oh, sorry, just kicked the sand. 5 figures to talk about. We're going to start off with, the figure that y'all ain't really interested in, most likely. This is Everett Ross from Black Panther 1, the Legacy Collection inclusion. So Everett Ross here, he actually has a completely new colored suit. You can sort of see him in the Everett Ross in the back. Sorry I don't got close looks for you guys here, but these figures are far away. You got him and the Everett Ross in the back there. Let me turn down that light so you can see a bit more of the detail there. His face has some great detail on it. If I turn these lights white, you'll be able to see his face sculpt this time. It might be the same face sculpt as last time, but I don't feel like it is. The last face sculpt was really good already, but this one, they just knocked it out with that one. It got some really good eye paint on it. Zooming in on that. Look at the eyes. Look at the detail in the eyes. Yeah, man, I like that. I like that. His suit is a completely different color. The last one had a sort of gray suit with a black tie and a gray bluish undersuit. This one actually has a blue tie with a sort of navy-ish blue suit with, I believe it is a also a bluish gray undersuit, but this one is I think that this one is just better looking. Although one major con for both of them is that they're both on base chameleon body, meaning that they both cannot stand, and it's very difficult. I mean, chameleon body can stand if you have the legs spread apart, but I mean, just standing up, just straight, like you gotta be very careful making sure that they don't fall over, because they will knock out the rest of your figures, and really that's worse than the figure just not being able to stand in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least don't deceive us with the impression of you being able to stand if you're just going to fall over within the next 15 minutes. But that's a complaint that a lot of collectors have. Hopefully it's something that they address in the next year at least, because I thought they were making headway with the Mr. Knight figure, but here we go seeing chameleon all over again. So hopefully we'll see some changes with that, and we'll get a new suited body mold eventually. But Everett Ross, he's a pretty good figure, man. He only comes with one accessory, that being his pistol. The pistol that he came with, if you see in the product shots, which I should be able to plug in. Pistol that he came with, it looks more sci-fi. It doesn't look like a real pistol, like a real one, like a realistic one like the other one I had. And I feel like that's with, as time goes on, they kind of don't want to be including actual guns with these figures that you get on the store shelves. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just a pivot that they're making. But I mean, this Winter Soldier figure you see right in front of us, this guy got the most realistic looking guns in the world, but at the same time, he wasn't on shelves. He's a fan channel exclusive. So I feel like there's a bit of a give or take there. But as long as, I'm sure that collectors, you got plenty of guns. McFarlane does a gun edition pack. Like, you should be able to get your hands on some guns for that guy. So yeah, Namor is a really good figure. I like Namor. So his debut in the Wakanda Forever movie, played by Tuma Huerta. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. He comes with actually a fair amount of accessories, not as many as I like. but as many as he needs. He comes with Namor's signature surfing hands, you know, when your hands are like that. The one that I have him on his left hand right there. So that's cool. He comes with the sets of that for both hands. He only has one gripping hand though for his right hand. And that does have a vertical hinge, as you see there, so you can have him actually pointing his spear at things, so that's really good. He comes with a fist for his left hand, and no fist for the right hand, unfortunately, so you can't be having him in actual fisticuffs. And he comes with his spear. The spear actually has some pretty good detail on it. Here's one thing I will say about Marvel Legends nowadays. And I'll emphasize this with the Okoye figure, but with a lot of the staffs and stuff that they use, like a lot of the weapons, it feels like they're made out of like a cheaper plastic. It's more pliable, you know, it's more susceptible to warping. But this particular Namor figure, this spear is actually constructed with some pretty stiff plastic. As you can see there, I've had it in that pose for about a week, and I don't see any bending, I don't see any, you know, warping, anything like that on it, and so that has me pretty encouraged for the future. Got some nice paint detailing up in there. There's actually sculpt all over the spear. Let me see if I can get you guys a closer look at that. Look, there is sculpt all over that thing, even on the actual blade there, the head, I believe it's what it's called when it's the spear. The head of that has some pretty good detailing on it as well. And taking a closer look at the figure, look at all of the detail on his, I believe it's called a accoutrements, right? He has a nice little neck piece right there. He got all these different straps and stuff on his arms. I don't know if they're actually straps. They look like metal, but yeah, those are actually on his biceps. You can see the actual, you know, the stuff that he has around it. You can actually move those. Those are made out of like a more flexible plastic, so you can slide those up and have the friction make them stay on the arms, or you can like take them off, or not really remove them from the figure, but you can make them loose and go down to the actual like elbows and everything like that. So those are actually pretty flexible, and they're not actually sculpted onto the arm. So that's an interesting thing to note. Maybe it could mean that we might see this body again with another figure. Getting down towards the legs, of course, I forgot to mention that this figure is all pinless, really cool. But getting down towards the legs, you can see he got his Speedo going on there. And the legs look really good. He has these feathers going on down here. And because of the pose I have him in, you can't really see his feet super well, but I'm pretty sure he has like these pearls on either foot with like the straps that go around him. And yeah, the feathers just, they look really good. He got the actual wings going out at the back. They're tapered in, so they don't really warp super duper easily. And yeah, I think that they just look great, man. I like this design. This design is just, it's striking me, bro. And as you can see, the photoreal deco on the face, it looks really good. It look really good. I noticed recently that I've been calling Nakia Shuri, and I think my mind has just been getting screwed up. I've been hearing so much about Shuri over and over and over that, I mean, Shuri is just up in the brain now, but Nakia here is a all new figure, I believe, from head to toe. This figure has 2 accessories, or actually it has a good amount of accessories. It's got her little wrist, or her like hula hoop ring weaponry on either side. I still don't know what these things really do. I just watched Black Panther again a couple weeks ago, and I still don't really know these things' purpose, but these were also, a variant of these came with the first figure that she had, and they got some really good sculpt on them. I believe that Nakia also has fists on either side, but I could be wrong. Yeah, looking pretty good. She's doing like that weird Star Trek thing with her hands, though. You know, where you got they sculpted those 2 sets of fingers together. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And she also, let me see what other accessories she has. Oh, she does not come with interchange. She does not come with fists for both hands, but she does come with another open hand. This one is apparently for the this one is apparently for the actual left hand. So she has 2 open hands for her left hand to hold stuff. So strange. Maybe that's actually an issue with mine. Maybe I just got given 2 left hands. I'll have to look into that. That's weird. That's strange. It seemed strange to me that she came with 2 of them too. So I probably just got 2 left hands. Weird. All right, and then here we got the helmeted head. And you can still see, I believe it's actually a separate piece there, the face sculpt under there. So they still got a really good looking Nakia face sculpt up in there. Lupita face sculpt, head sculpt. Looks weird on camera because of the ring light, but believe me, that looks good. And on the figure herself, she just has an amazing, amazing head sculpt there. Look at the photoreal deco on that. Yeah, man, that's really good. That is really good. The figure here doesn't have an incredibly high amount of colors going on. It's a weird looking costume. I mean, it's a weird looking suit. I don't know how I really feel about it yet. It does look very marine inspired, but it does feel like they're milking the marine part with all the texturing and everything. It looks green. She looks like a coral. You know what? Now I think about it, if she went into the sea with that, that could be a pretty good camouflage, actually. And she is a spy, so maybe that actually all connects. I'm actually starting to piece together the costume in my mind, but maybe I'm just talking gibberish. There is an insane amount of sculpt on this, though. It's very subtle, but the metallic variants of green bring it out. As you can see here towards the legs, she got some scaling there. It looks good. It looks really good. Some blue going on up here in the chest. You can see more and more detailing in the sculpt there. She does have these like little epaulets around her neck, sort of like how Okoye and the Dora Milaje have. And excuse me, sorry. And she also has, actually her Kimoyo beads, as you can see around her arm, are sculpted in. Or sorry, the opposite of that. They are not sculpted in. They're a separate piece, so you can actually move those, kind of like Namor's arm pieces. But the piece of Nakia that shines here, and I'm going to show this to you guys right now. The piece of her that shines is, I believe that she actually has the most range on a double jointed elbow I've ever seen. Oh, here's one thing I don't like about these Wakanda Forever fakes nowadays, though. At least on mine. I've been noticing they have this weird little speck on all of their elbows right here, right below the bicep where that double joint is. They have that weird little speck, like a piece of plastic was chipped off. So that's weird. Tell me if you guys have that on yours. But check out that range right there. Peep this range. That's incredible. That's like touch your own shoulder. That is the most amount I've ever seen. I thought that She-Hulk had the most, but She-Hulk, there is still a bit of a gap there because her shoulders are so broad. But with Nakia here, yeah, no, that is the most amount of range I think we're ever going to see on that ever. Like, this is ridiculously high amount. Like, you can't get any further than that unless you actually had, like, unless her arm could go inside. But yeah, no, I just wanted to point that out. That's a really good looking joint there. As you can see, the detailing and texture comes around towards the back. Some of the paint leaves, the metallic paint leaves, as you can see when it gets to that half part. So they decided to only paint in those metallic-y colors on the front, which is unfortunate. But yeah, man, she's cool, dog. Nakia here, and here's a closer look at that head sculpt. Yeah, man, that is Lupita all the way. That is scary. That is... I said that She-Hulk was one of the best ones. Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon on that. Like, this is really good. And they always do a really good job on her. Even her first figure had a really good head sculpt on it. But it was good, man. This one is really good. So, yeah, Nakia there. I really like Nakia. The Nakia figure, this new one. And I can't wait to see her role in the movie. Don't fall over now. Don't fall over now. Yes, okay. Good. Okoye here. Okoye is a figure I was really excited to get because I never actually completed my Build-A-Figure Okoye from back in 2018. She was a figure that I started back then. I believe I did start. Wait, what was the figure that I got? Oh, right. Nakia, the 2018 Nakia was actually one of my first figures. So I had started the Okoye Build-A-Figure. It was actually one of the first ones that I started along with Thanos and Cole Obsidian. So yeah, it was a while before I actually started making some headway on Okoye because her figure was her Build-A-Figure was one of the first I had started. I don't believe I'd actually super duper committed to completing her up until like early 2019 when I had gotten Black Bolt and Namor for like $9.99 at a Target. And so by that point I'd had like a leg and 2 arms, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I can actually maybe try to commit to finishing this thing. But I mean, that year was just so, I mean, I didn't have a job back then, so completing Build-A-Figures wasn't like a super duper common thing back then. So it was like Okoye was just the one that eventually got left in the dust, just like Mantis did. I eventually went back for Mantis, but now that we got a new Okoye figure announced, I mean, there's really no reason for me to go back. And I love this figure. This figure, to me, really feels like an improvement over the original. First of all, I want to say that I believe she's basically 100% all new sculpt. The upper torso might be the only thing, though, that they took from the old figure and put into it. So that's cool, man. This figure, all in all, has a more accurate deco. Dwight Stahl had said that they actually went back to Black Panther 1 and they had taken some of the film louts and they had actually used it to make this new Okoye figure and make it look really good. But she's modernized with double jointed pinless elbows and double jointed pinless legs. And I gotta say, this is one of the most satisfying feeling figures in a while, man. This Okoye, really, really, really good. The only gripe that I have with her is that she does not have the double ball peg neck. And because Okoye is just one of those characters that you really gotta have it, man. No, I believe Nakia is the only figure in this wave that got the double ball peg. Namor got a neck hinge. Ross got a neck hinge, and Okoye, I just feel like she needed that double ball peg, bro. I really wanted it on Okoye, and I'm sad about it. But I mean, other than that, I mean, she's really good. It's a really good figure. The elbows got some great range, legs got some great range. She has these little pieces of fabric that they're not actual fabric, but I mean, she has these little pieces that hang down past her skirt there, past her actual battle skirt. As you can see, the old one did not have that. And yeah, man, it just looks really good. I especially love the texturing on the actual skirt there. If we come around, we'll see some more of that. Great texturing on that. You can see they even painted the buckle there. Yeah, no, that's really good. And also on Okoye, though, unfortunately, you can see she also has that little white speck on her elbow joint. So that's weird, but you can also see the Kimoyo beads and everything. Yeah, this is a really good figure, man. They did a really good job on it. Her neck piece, if you can see the piece right below her actual neck braces, her neck piece has a separate, her epaulets there are a separate piece, unlike Shuri, who has her sculpted in. Her neck pieces are separate, so that's strange, but it's also cool. I really love Okoye. She's a really good figure. As for accessories, she doesn't come with any fists or anything of the such, but she doesn't really need them. She comes with the same accessories that came with the old one, which is a shorter spear and her actual long spear. But unlike the old one, this one's Okoye accessories, they just feel they're made out of that more pliable plastic that I was talking about. So I can't really touch her spear right now, but it bends super duper easily. And I feel like it's susceptible to warping. I mean, right now it's been doing pretty good all week, but I noticed it out of the package that it came a little bit bent. And the old one, this thing was not going to bend easily, man. Like, this thing was not, it was stiff, it was firm. Like, you would have a hard time even having this thing look bent. It just came straight and it was always straight. This one I had came a little bit bent a little bit. Because of the angle I have it at, you can't really notice it, but it's unfortunate for me. And I just don't really like it, man. I hope that they go back to actually using a stronger plastic. Like, for example, the Marvel Legends Thor figures. Take a look at this, man. This is the Stormbreakers that we have nowadays. Like, this is just embarrassing. The first Thor that they did with this Stormbreaker, the first Infinity War Thor, that Stormbreaker was way sturdier than the ones we got nowadays. So much to the point where I actually stopped using a lot of these and I started using a different kind of Stormbreaker. I started getting the Mafex Endgame Thor, which came with 2 Stormbreakers, and I just sell off the Thor and keep the Stormbreakers because, like, that's just what you gotta do, man. This is getting embarrassing. So I really hope that they stop using this pliable plastic with the accessories and they actually go back to some more stiff, firmer stuff. Hoo-wee! So, talking about one of the stars of this wave, man. It's just a gorgeous figure. The Atuma Build-A-Figure, man. So, Atuma here is a character I don't know much about. He actually came back in... It was actually one of the first... he's gotten a figure way long time ago with Toy Biz. It was on a retro card. I think it was the Fantastic Four retro card. Atuma, a comic version of him, had a figure all the way back then. It was not even a Marvel Legend. It was a retro joint. Marvel Legends have not done any other version of Atuma. I don't think Hot Toys have ever done an Atuma. Definitely not. And yeah, I just think that Marvel, this is the first Atuma figure that we've gotten, and this is from the Black Panther movie. So, taking a look at the figure itself, I'm not going to pretend to know anything about Atuma. Maybe it's Namor's brother, something like that. Namor's war commander. Something, maybe he's the Okoye to Namor's Black Panther. But this figure has just an impeccable level of sculpting. Just take a look at it. First of all, I want to say that the film, or sorry, not the film, when the figure was actually first shown, for some reason it had a brown torso in the promo shots, and they had said that that was not accurate. They quickly changed that, and now it actually got the proper blue torso, and it looks really good, man. So Alex Livinali is actually really tall. He's like 6'3", 6'4", the actor for Atuma. So Atuma, the figure is not like huge. Like, it's not like hugely big. Actually, a lot of the accessories that it has make it seem bigger, but it is also a relatively taller. Like, he's a taller guy compared to the rest of your Marvel Legends. He's going to stand over a good amount of them, except for, you know, this greasy buffalo right here. So, you know, Atuma, he's a cool character, or at least he's a cool figure, and I want to see him in the movie. But talking about the figure itself, it's really cool, man. It's got so much detailing here that actually a lot of the articulation is inhibited, especially towards the shoulders. So the shoulder pads are actually designed similar to the Null shoulder pads and the Infinity Ultron shoulder pads that I, you know, gushed about earlier in the week, where it does allow for some pretty good range. I don't know how it works, but the issue with Atuma here is that his actual neck piece there does not allow those shoulders to come up over the actual like clavicle, so you can't really get his arms to move that far up. I was trying here with this pose, but yeah, you can't really get him to move super far. But as for the sculpt itself, I mean, just take a look at Atuma's design, man. So he's got like shark fins and everything on him. You can't really see them too well because of, like, you know, the figures I got behind him. But look, he even got these like weird like fins coming up out the back, and there's a lot of them too. Like, if I could turn them around and show you guys, he got a lot of them here. Look at that. And also, you guys can see my acrylics back there. You see how intricate the acrylic setup is? But yeah, look at those fins he got back there. So that is cool. He got like a hammerhead shark as his head. You can see the eyes on the side. Going down to the face, I've noticed that a lot of that, you know, Namor's sister and all them, they have these masks. So maybe they're not actually able to breathe a lot of oxygen. Who knows? Or at least there's something in the air that is toxic to them. Coming down even lower, you can see that he got his eyes and the detailing up in there. Because of the helmet, you can't really see him, but man, that just looks so good, man. And there's so much sculpt on the actual helmet that it looks like it has a wash to it because of how the shadows hit it. But nah, man, that does not have a wash. It's just beautifully sculpted. It got all kinds of cuts and ridges up in there. Yeah, no, that's good. Even got his earrings. Got a fairly good amount of paint detail on this figure, I gotta say. Moving through. Number one, he is all pinless too, but I mean, it's an asymmetrical design. It has the appearance of being symmetrical, but if you take a look at his arms, like his left arm got bones and everything like that on it. You know, maybe I mean, all his bones and stuff that he attaches to his costume, maybe those are like war signets, you know, like they're like trophies that he's taken from himself and put onto his body. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, no, you see those bones on his left arm, but then on the right arm, he don't got those. He got like teeth and like fins up in there. So yeah, man, it was a really cool figure, really cool design. And coming down towards the belt here, you can see some paint detail is lost, but maybe it is supposed to look like this. I don't know. You can see a nice good amount of like a red brownish paint that comes through here on the actual piece of his skirt that hangs down. I don't know if that's what you can call it, a skirt or whatever. In Star Wars, it's called a comma, but maybe that's not what it is here. But anyways, you can see that got some nice blue paint there, blue paint on the upper piece of that right below the buckle. And yeah, man, it's just looking good. Every single time I look at it, actually, I notice something else. He got a cylindrical piece on his back. It's hard for y'all to see, but if y'all come around to this angle, you can see that little barrel that's hanging off of his back. He got that back there. And it's just a lot of sculpting and detailing on this figure all the way around. He even got these scars on his chest, on his abdomen. Yeah, it's a cool Build-A-Figure, man. This is one of their best ones of modern times, I think. Now, here's the issue with the Tuma, though, because this figure is not without a flaw. The issue is, and I've noticed this on a lot of copies, his legs. So if you see here, the legs look really good coming down. They look amazing first and foremost. The issue is that Atuma's boots on the figure itself are not sculpted in line with the actual legs. Like his knees are not equally, like they're not parallel or congruent with his feet in any sort of way, if that makes sense. He does not have a boot cut, so you can't fix that. And I've noticed it on a lot of copies. I don't know if it's on every single one, but I even noticed it with the promo shot figures. It's like they were sculpted on crooked, so that's just strange to me, man. And it's annoying me because it has inhibited this figure from getting it into a lot of the poses that I wanted to. Because, I mean, it's just difficult for it to stand. But the sculpt does continue towards the feet, as you can see. Got some pretty cool looking straps and everything. Got his toes sticking out. He got them grippers out, you know. So he's a cool figure. So Black Panther Wakanda Forever wave. I really like it. Go see my, what's her name? Go see my Ironheart Riri Williams review earlier in the week. I did that on Monday. Go check out my Infinity Ultron wave review if you haven't seen it yet. Oh, and also Atuma comes with 2 accessories that have an amazing amount of detail on it. He got this longer spear and he got this shorter club looking weapon. But as far as ranking for this wave, so let me just get my Hawkeye back here really quickly so I can rank this wave for you guys. Excuse me. Can't have Kate Bishop without Hawkeye, you know what I'm saying? So, boom. All right. All right, anyways, so wave ranking. All right, so start with Everett Ross there. Everett Ross, he's a reused figure in the wave. Half of this wave is reused if you're not including the Build-A-Figure, but I'll give it a 6. It's not fair for me to, you know what? No, I'll give it a 5 because Chameleon needs to get out of here. I'm so sick and tired of Chameleon, but it has a pretty good head sculpt on it though. As far as Atuma is, or as far as Namor is concerned, I'll give Namor, scale of 1 to 10, I'll give him a solid 7. You know what? No, I'll give him an 8. Namor is really good. The only issue is that he does not have a actual double ball peg at the neck. Because I don't like figures that don't have the double ball peg at this point. Like, I'm getting tired of it. Some figures really do benefit from the neck hinge, but they got so good at doing the double ball peg that I'm spoiled with it now. And it's unfortunate to me that that figure does not have it. Shuri here, I mean, you see I called her Shuri again. Nakia here. Really cool figure. Can't wait to see this outfit in the movie. Scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a solid, I'll give it a 7. Noticing that it does not have the, no, I'll give it an 8. The only thing that's bugging me out is noticing that it doesn't have the actual metallic paint continuing towards the back, but nobody looks at the back of their figures anyways. And I really love the accessories that she comes with, so yeah, I'll give her an 8. Okoye there gets an 8.5. Only thing bumming me out about her really is, yeah, again, no double ball peg at the neck. But everything else about her is perfect other than the type of plastic they used on her spear. And Atuma here. Atuma, the only issue that I'm finding with him is the issue with the legs. So scale of 1 to 10, I'll also give Atuma an 8.5 because I think that he's amazing. But yeah, I definitely recommend this wave. Try to get it in hand, especially after you see the movie. I feel like this wave will be pretty popular. And there are definitely a good amount of Wakanda Forever figures coming out. So, I mean, this movie, yeah, excited for it all the way. And I'm sure that we got plenty of more Black Panther Wakanda Forever figures on the not so distant horizon. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe out there and remember to catch you all. I mean, and remember to come back for the next one. Always remember to be the best, and I'll see you all later. Bye.